Hello Internet, it is I, the Roshi, and I'm back with another reaction. This time I'm going to be reacting to some Genshin Impact character demos. And boy, are there a lot of them. Anyway, let's get started with our first one, Kaeya. Cayenne Pepper. I remember this guy.
I'm Kaeya, cavalry captain for the Knights of Favonius. My eye patch. Want to hear my story, eh? I know a great place more fit for a chat. Freeze!
Yep. He's got the ice powers. Okay, these are not him. Oh, now it's him. All right.
Not bad. Come on, let's get moving.
All right, so that was Kaeya, one of the shorter character demos. I know you meet him relatively quick in the game, and I don't know, he was all right. It was cool to have that ice guy. He was a nice guy. Nice guy. He was. I hate myself. Feel free to share your opinions as well, as far as what characters you like and dislike with the ones that I'm showing today. I know that not everyone likes every character. I know that this is an ice guy, but I'm sure that there are other characters with ice that maybe you prefer. Or is Kaeya the GOAT? All right, so this next one is Fischl. I remember getting Fischl very easily in a poll. She quickly became one of my favorites.
最近的蒙德，深邃的邪恶正在表面之下疯狂涌动。看来又要动用我的眷属漆黑夜鸦，来观测迷雾之后的真相了。
没错，跑腿的正是在下。小姐自己是不会动的。
观测，锁定。
There she is.
之名，自入深眠。
Yup, she got the bow skills.
散落吧，命运之敌，受罚。
Very dramatic.
我之眼已经预见了永恒的胜利。呀
The laugh.
汝为何来此？亡灵一人就能实行断罪。先别说这些，我已经引燃他们了。快用你的雷电！凡人也想借用昭告命运的圣才之雷吗？
Oh yeah, her bird special.
小姐，冒险家协会的工资要我明天去代领一下吗？
Okay, that was Fischl. She has the bow. She has the electric attacks. She's got her powerful bird, and it talks. She's constantly posing, and she's talking more grandiose than she probably is. I don't know. Fischl's great though. I loved her personality, and she's cute. All right, this one is the Pyro chapter, Xiangling. Let's check it out.
My name is Xiangling. I'm a chef from Liyue. If there's nothing better to do, we could go foraging for ingredients. I'm much better at cooking than navigating, but if you do go out, definitely take me with you. Nice and spicy. It's time to introduce you to my latest masterpiece. I call it the most marvelous, multicolored super pancake. Lola, get them.
Freeze!
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Wow, this feels great! Is there time for a quick snack? I'll whip one up in no time.
Looks like she was introduced, or at least from Liyue. I don't know as far as like Genshin, but in general, I feel like spear users don't really get a lot of time in the spotlight. Rarely I ever think of a character that wields a spear or a pole arm that is popular. I'm not sure if people like this character. She seemed pretty cool. I like how she could fight and then have kind of like this flaming, you know, spin attack that was circling around her and the enemy. Once again, the languages, they are what they are. I haven't made any adjustments to anything. This is just how Genshin Impact channel has them. So I'm just leaving them as they are. Moving on to the next one, which is Qiqi. Let's check it out. Oh, that's cool. She's got like the tag.
I am Qiqi. I am a zombie.
Qiqi.
And
Oh.
I forgot what comes next. I want to build a snowman. Will you help? The wind is frigid. I like it. Hold my hand, please. This wind could blow me away. Wheel of life. Life goes on. Orders given. Orders received. I should have stayed indoors today.
I said Qiqi before. It's Qiqi. I guess the Q is a CH sound. My bad. Interesting. I don't know how I feel regarding the voice that was used in this demo versus how the character moved about. The character animation seemed very bubbly, but the voice was very monotone and kind of tired sounding. I'm not sure if it has that same kind of feel when it comes to her voices in other languages. Like, I like the voice. I just don't feel like the character animation fit with it. She is like a zombie. That's kind of cool. I like that. Overall, it's an interesting character. I think I'd like to see a little more someday. Maybe. But yeah, moving on. Mona. Okay, I remember Mona, kind of. I know that she had that cool, like, watery dash attack where she kind of goes into the ground, or she's like a puddle or something. I don't know. I guess I'm gonna find out, right? Let's get into it.
I am astrologist Mona Magistus, meaning the great astrologist Mona. The equipment repair bill is due, and so is the final payment for that celestial globe I ordered. Astrologers must rid themselves of material desires. Only by ridding oneself of clutter can one see the true world around them.
Okay, there's the water thing.
Shadows of fate. Delve into destiny. Fate is upon you. Let me scribe. This was ordained by fate. Long had I foreseen it.
First off, they did a very good job at designing the personality. One thing I learned is that that she's an astrologist. Didn't know that, so that's interesting. You know, you can do a lot of stuff with space. And yeah, I just remember hearing how fun she was to play as, and when she's not zipping around, she was just a lot of fun to have on screen. Yup. Oh, thank God she's 19. Fischl is... Fischl's 16?
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Nope, I'm out. I'm out. Nope, I'm out. I'm done. I'm so done. FBI, open up! Oh, no, this should be Keqing. Let's check it out.
I am Keqing, Yuhun of the Liga Qixing. Come on, enough procrastinating. Let's go. Time is against us. We live in an era of change, as the old order that has existed for 1,000 years is about to be rewritten. Join me. Let us bear witness to this historical moment together. Incoming! Speed of light! Don't blink! Hey! With sword comes shadow. heart is set on something, you get closer to your goal with each passing day.
Okay. Okay, so first time ever seeing that character. I love the animation of the character just kind of standing there, but you have the quick blade motions flashing across the scene as if she's just moving very quickly. That's always pretty cool. She was talking about a whole lot of stuff that I didn't understand, where time is of the essence and things like that. I'm wondering if when these characters are introduced and they kind of talk about these urgent matters, if it's related to her story or like an overall story, or maybe a story to that specific region where this character is from. She's got a very purpley lilac color scheme. Okay, yeah, and she's got like little flower motif going on here. She's got some she's got some frills on the skirt and stuff. I do love how intricate some of these designs get, and I'm sure that I'm gonna see some more characters that are gonna have all sorts of crazy details. They didn't really punch me in the face with impressiveness right off the bat. I mean, they're cool and everything. If I were to pull and get this character, I'd be like, oh yeah, but I feel like there might be other ones I'd be more interested in. I don't know. There's a lot of them, so it's hard to say without seeing more, I guess, right? Time to hop into the next one, and we have here Venti. Okay, I remember people talking about Venti.
語り継がれし古い物語。詩人は歌い出す。神々がまだ属性にいた時代。遥か昔の物語である。おや、一日中世話しない不自由な労働者が銀融詩人の楽しみを邪魔する気かい？ある音符はね、そこらの聴衆に向けて奏でていいものじゃないんだ。好天の風を呼んでしまうからね。風と共に流れるのは言葉と歌だけじゃないのさ。
Okay. So that was Venti, who is a bard, and they have a harp, which turns into their bow, I guess. I'll be honest, I heard a lot of hype for Venti when they came out, and I don't know why. Maybe I'm gonna get some hate for that. I never really thought Venti was cool. I don't know. I don't really have too strong of an opinion one way or the other. I don't know. Maybe I'm in the wrong. Do you like Venti? Do you still play as Venti? Were you as hyped when you played? When Venti became a thing? If you played back then? All right. So the next character on the list is Klee. Oh god. What? This has a big different feel.
Are you here for playtime with Klee? Okay, so you'll be in charge of the Storm Watch.
What?
Which means you warn Klee the second you see Jean coming. Let's go!
Oh god. She throwing bombs?
Jumpy Dumpty! This is my special totally not for fish blasting extra exploding formula.
Klee, you know the consequences.
I'm just... Oh my god.
Next time, let's go fish blasting together.
Don't know if that's legal, Klee. Alright, so that was Klee. No idea what to expect going into that. I think I might have seen her in some shots of Maxor's video. She throws bombs? She's got like kind of like a turret thing going on. Seems like you can have some interesting fun gameplay with her, like just throwing explosives and setting up stuff and just walking around and watching everything burn and die around you. Very weird yet interesting character demo. I don't hate it though. It's different and it fit the character's personality, I guess, to have it be a little more quirky. It was more of like a carefree, yet you see the devastation that they can cause. I do find it weird where you have this character that goes out and throws bombs around, and then they get scolded, get sent to have a timeout, and then once they're free, they just go back to doing it? Someone's not learning their lesson. And maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. In my opinion, is probably one of the better character demos as far as showing the character's actual personality and not only just showcasing their skills. Or maybe it just stuck out to me because it was so different compared to what we've seen so far. Okay, so next up we have Diona. Or Diona. Ryo.
Diona, bartender of the Cat's Tail. I charge a hefty fee for private events. My ears and tail are no prop, they're real. Proof of my cat's line bloodline.
Okay.
Life as a mixologist is very busy. When I'm not at the tavern, I'm out collecting ingredients for new recipes, so unless something is urgent, don't bother me. I'm a rock! Think you can bully me? Look at you, Blue Tail!
Huh.
I wasn't waiting for you. I just happened to be resting.
Alright, I see. You got yourselves a cat girl with a little hint of... With that last line, sounded a little tsundere. Unless if they're being honest, they were just resting because like cat naps and all that stuff. I saw cat girl and I went, oh no. Not that that's a bad thing, but they're also like very, very, very young looking, and that scares me a little bit for... It scares me for the community's sake.
The age of consent is 18 years old.
Fischl 16?
But one thing I did think looked pretty cool, I mean, another bow user, which I'm like, meh, about, but they did have something that looks slightly different where they threw, like, the cryo canister, which exploded and caused the ice effect. That seemed pretty cool. I dig that. That feels, or at least aesthetically, seems a little different. Okay, let's move on. Childe? Childe? I'm butchering these names. I'm sorry. Let's find out.
Dearest sister, I've been away for so long, I've almost forgotten the cold of our home. You know I grow restless when life is ordinary and boring. Though in Liyue, fuses of excitement can be found everywhere, just waiting for the right spark.
Okay. Tartaglia? What?
Come at me! Not much of an adversary, but enough for a sideshow, I guess. Time to end this! Now's our chance! That's so? If you were smart, you wouldn't charge into unknown danger. It'll be an easy victory, but I still won't hold back. Your brother has just been taking care of some trivial matters here, really. But Tonya, rest assured. The future that Tsaritsa desires, the future the people of Snezhnaya desire, it will be had.
Cool, but I'm confused. So I feel dumb. Let's see, this character's name is Tartaglia? Tartaglia. Number 11 of the Harbinger, also known as Childe? I don't know how to, they never said the word, so I don't know how to pronounce it. His name is highly feared on the battlefield. He has like this spear or glaive, but also a bow. So I imagine you can switch weapons, but don't some characters specialize with certain weapons? So I'm a little confused. Maybe this character's special because he can have more than one weapon. Also, let me know what if that's true or not. I'm talking out of my buttocks. Other than being confused by his name, despite that, he seems pretty cool. He was talking about a lot of stuff that I don't know what about, but I feel like that's going to be a reoccurring theme throughout this series, and I'm going to continue saying that I have no idea what they're talking about. And you know what? That's okay, because maybe someday I will. I did like seeing him whip around the spear, and it looked like it kind of like broke, or like it was in two pieces at one point in time, and he kind of connected them. So I don't know, maybe he also has some kind of like dagger skills as well. Yeah, just a cool looking pretty boy character. We like those. You know, they say you're supposed to go out and touch grass. I look like I was recruited into Squid Game. Anyway, I'm back doing more Genshin character demos. This next one is Xinyan. Okay.
Xinyan's the name and rock and roll's the game. And I'm the only one who plays it in Liyue Harbor. Been thinking about staging concerts elsewhere lately, but what say you sign me up for your world tour? Anywhere's good. Almost about to go live over here. You coming? Yeah! Pyrotechnics! Rockin' to the rescue! Time to rock! That's the groove, all right. That's what I'm talking about. I'm on fire lately. Look out for my next performance.
This character, Xinyan, is like a rocker. Her hair's interesting. She's got, I think that's still part of her hair. She's got like the long braids. She's got the guitar. She's a sword user. I don't really have much to say about this one. She's aight. I felt like her, at least this voice, had a little bit of like a southern twang to it.
I'm on fire lately. Look out for my next performance.
I'm on fire lately. But I don't know if that's intentional or what. Okay, cool. All right, so this next one is Zhongli. Well, now that I think about it, someone I know once compared me to this character. I don't know why. Let's watch it.
We last left off with ancient Liyue beset by an ocean demon and a mountain dragon. Rex Lapis mustered his adepti to restore peace to the land. They say that before he set out, he spoke these words.
He's got a pole arm. And the Geo Rock Earth magic. Ooh.
This is an age of gods and monsters. I wish not for dominion. Yet I cannot watch the common folk suffer. I will have order.
Ooh. That's pretty cool.
To cleanse the land and defend our safe harbor. That was the first contract in Liyue. And now, the final contract too has been set in stone.
Guy with spear, earth stuff. I really like that that attack he did. Maybe that's like his ultimate, where he essentially petrified everyone on the field and they exploded. That was pretty rad. I don't know much about his character other than this. I'm getting the sense that he's very stoic, right? I guess, which would make sense if you have a character that's doing like maybe like earth rock things. He's very maintain order, justice, protect the people. His design is baller. I like his suit thing. His hair is cool. He's got the I don't give a fuck eyes. Yeah, I'd fuck him. Okay, next we have Albedo.
This is Timaeus' newest design. A commendable achievement. 20 more years. And perhaps we can let him make a start on the textbook Sucrose uses today. Burst forth!
Ooh.
Moments of birth! The universe. The sable essence of the starry void. Earth. The accumulative memory of time and being. Soil. The origin of alchemy. The basis of all life. Shock. The substance from which primal life is molded. Klee? No, not at the... Crucible.
I mean, very intricate, cool design. And that's one of the things I love most about looking at these character demos so far, is that each character is just like overly pretty. Right? This is a pretty boy. Like huge protagonist vibes with some like mysterious elements thrown in there. I mean, he's talking about life and the earth and birth and stuff, and he created a bird out of his freaking hand, and then they hint at maybe some kind of, maybe this character and Klee are related, brother and sister, maybe. They at least know each other story-wise, it seems. It was cool, but it was a little weird with how dramatic some things were. And then you have Klee, this very silly character, and you can tell that they have some kind of dynamic. I don't know, maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's the charm of it, where you kind of have this guy and he's like, earth, soil, birth, meh. And then Klee's just blowing up shit. I don't know, maybe that's what that is. Do they make references to each other? Do these characters make references to the relationships that they're in with other characters that you can, add to your group? He's an alchemist and captain of the something investigation team. Okay. All right, so he has like an important title. Did it say his element at all? I don't know. It probably did, and I just missed it. Man, there's so many things I want to ask about, but I'm sure you who are watching this, if you know something about a certain character or your favorite character, feel free to talk about them in the comment section. All right, next one. Okay, this next one is Ganyu.
Sweet flower, so called because of its high sugar content. As a food, it's not the healthiest option, but feasting my eyes on it works wonders for my mood. So, I cannot permit you to trample these flowers. Born of ice and frost. Please don't touch my horns.
Oh, careful. Don't sleep by monsters.
Huh? So I was asleep? It was just a dream. All hail! Blaze over!
I approve. Wait, is there something else? Yeah, so I really like this character. She's super cool. I guess some kind of demon or hybrid thing going on. She's got the horns. I love the ice powers. Her design is super cool. I mean, she's very cute. And she's a narcoleptic. She falls asleep in terrible situations, it seems. But also, it appears that there is some kind of vision having within dreams, since the whole character demo was about her waking up, fighting these monsters, to actually waking up, realizing it was a dream, but then monsters were right there. One thing I need to check before I say the next words out of my mouth. She's over 3,000 years old. Thank God. Wood. This next one is Xiao. Yep.
These are matters for Adepti. Stay out of my way.
Is this the Sasuke of Genshin? Our edgy boy?
Insignificant.
slaughter. Ephemeral circumstance, perpetual agony. This is nothing new to me. These severed karmic binds! Disperse!
Very, very edgy, which I'm sure a lot of people like. There is just something about that character, right? Who is, you know, they're good at what they do, which is probably killing something or others. All these crazy demonic powers. He's a cursed individual. This is a cursed individual with powers, and he's tormented by it. But it's all he knows, so it's what he does, and he does it good. Yeah, the only thing I really got about this character is that I know that my 16-year-old self would absolutely love it and probably be writing messages such as, "This is me for real," except instead of Twitter, it would be through Messenger Pigeon because I'm that fucking old. Okay, this next one we have is Hu Tao.
Hey, you sure we're going the right way? Doubt there's any treasure in this creepy place.
This treasure map's bow ours. We just follow it all the way.
Hey, wait. Did you just hear something?
Spooky.
Man up. We're just imagining things. Huh? Who are you?
Quick, do something!
Ooh.
Order of duality, impermanence of fate. I raised this butterfly to guide thee. Ah, yeah, so many droll people. Fatui, not even worth the tease. Guess I'll need to send you off myself. Zombie, you scared? Time to go! See you on the other side.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, they've got like the ghosty, ghouly, spooky vibe thing. She's another quirky character, right? Similar to Klee, maybe not in the same way, kind of quirky, but I feel like she kind of has her own agenda. You have other characters who are talking about like balance and protecting people and life and birth and nature, the universe, cosmos. You have like all these things, but then occasionally you get a character that's just kind of like, yeah, I just want to blow shit up. Or in this case, it's I like scaring people. I don't know if this character, if they go much deeper than what they appear here. I do think it's cool that they have a little ghost companion thing. That's neat. So yeah, very, very cool design. I like how it's dark blacks and grays, but then there's some like pops of color, such as the red, or there's some yellows here and there. Actually, I don't know if that's just the magical effect of what's going on, but yeah, I mean, she's super cute. She seems like she'd be a lot of fun to play as. God, there's so many. God, there's so many. Oh my God, there's so many. Okay, Rosaria.
Me? I'm just another ordinary person.
Sure you are.
Church, work. I just do what I have to do. Each of the sisters is worse than the next. If it's not about prayer, then it's about choir or some other thing I'm supposed to participate in. I'm trying to stay out of sight. Pray. Not for the gods nor the betterment of others, but for yourself.
Oh, wow.
Everything is negotiable, except overtime.
Okay. She seems that she is a nun, or at least works for a church in some way. I mean, her name's Rosaria, like rosary, you know, it's a thing. I see what you're doing. But she also seems very business orientated. Maybe she's a little bit about collecting that money or something, or being paid to do a service such as mercenary work. No other services. Church service? I don't know. Anyway, interesting character. Quite interesting. Moving on. Okay, this next character is Yanfei.
My name is Yanfei, top legal expert in Liyue, and for the avoidance of doubt, no one else comes close. I'm fully versed in every area of the law. I'll remind you again. The law can be both a help and a hindrance. Only by adhering to the law can the people solve life's myriad of problems. Incinerate! Time for your arraignment! Anyway, my point is, you can always rely on me.
When it comes to these Genshin Impact characters, there are some where they know that a character is going to be some smash hit character that everyone's going to want. Yanfei here, her little character demo just now was very standard compared to a lot of the other ones that we've seen. Whereas with some of the others, they had more build up. We just kind of saw her walking around the town like, I uphold the law. And then a couple clips of her smacking people with some fireballs, and then it was just over. I'm not sure what the strategy behind that is, why some characters seem to have a little more to them. This character is Eula.
Dance of Sacrifice, Act 3. Flickering Candlelight. This was once part of a ceremony for aristocrats to show off their stature. Now it's just a private pastime. Vengeance will be mine! As a descendant of a fallen ancestry, I alone must break free from the chains of revenge. Shudder! Rack and ruin! Are you here to spy on me?
No, I was just worried you might be in trouble.
Not yet. It takes two to tango. Shall we?
Huh?
This is what I mean. You have characters like Yanfei who are just like, I'm a cop! And then you have characters like Eula here, where she obviously has all this backstory. She's gorgeous. Can I say that? Can I say that? All right, we're good. We're good. I think this might be my favorite character trailer so far. I love the character's design. She's got the ice thing. She has an interesting, mysterious backstory of sorts. Like the big old sword. And she's got like a dance thing. What the heck with this move? I see what you're doing. You calm yourself. The only nitpick that I had was this right here. That was it. Not this. This is a great shot. Stepping on the dirt, and you heard sound effects as if she was stepping on a hard floor. That's the only thing that took me out of it a little bit. But I do think it's cool that she has like this dancing thing going on, and that it has to do with ancestors, and she's talking about this revenge thing. She's a knight, she has a sword, she has the cryo, the ice powers. She's great. Alright, this next one is Kaedehara Kazuha.
Solitary cloud. Shadow in the setting sun. And the last line.
Guy's getting sniped. Nice.
Honestly, can't even finish my haiku without being interrupted.
Okay.
Wind Strider.
You're really going to trust me, despite my being from Inazuma. My mind is like a wind on the waves. It can change in an instant.
Kid, I think I got you figured out.
Oh, in that case, you saw this coming.
What, you mean these amateurs? I was saving them for you.
Fallen leaves, adorn my night! My last line stirs the drifter's heart.
I really like the vibe that they have going on. Yeah, wandering samurai. He's got like the spirit katana. He starts his character demo and finishes his character demo working on his haiku, which is a form of Japanese poetry. What I like that they did here is that they had a mix of this traditional Japanese soundtrack, like actually using Japanese instruments, but it had a little bit of like an old school hip hop vibe to it in some parts, because you would hear a little bit of like a distorted voice-over mixed into the track, and they had some like glitchy static effects, like a little bit of like a record scratch, something like that fit with the visuals as they were happening. So the feeling I got from this was just very unique compared to some of the other stuff that I've seen so far. I mean, I felt things in Eula's trailer too, but I mean, those were different feelings. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. All right, the next one here is Kamisato Ayaka.
Tachijutsu is your honor embodied. Your will revealed. The wielder's mind must be pure, tranquil. When you strike, be quick as lightning, cold as ice. Master your blade and seize victory in a single motion, too perfect to be parried. These were the words of my mother.
Wow.
I have long desired to learn the blade work of another land. If I may, I would like to spar with you. Master of Inazuma Kamisato Art Tachijutsu. Kamisato Ayaka, present. Delighted to make your acquaintance.
fine lady. Your form is as flawless as ever. Although, maybe try a softer touch, so no one gets injured.
Oh, was I hitting too hard? It seems I still have room to improve. Toma, before the traveler arrives, spar with me some more.
As you wish, my lady.
I do not know the traveler's skill with a blade, but I look forward to finding out.
Well, once again, it's another like samurai-ish character, right? Got the katana, and a very custom-looking katana. Fantasy game, right? So it's a cool little stylistic thing. I do like her little spiel about quoting her mother and wanting to become like the best sword user by learning more skills, more techniques, even outside of her family. It seems like she has an interesting story. Definitely very like noble. She looks like she'd be a fun character to play. I'd like to learn more about this one. Next we have Sayu or Sayu.
Recon confirms. No sign of the shrine maiden within a 3-mile radius. Bedtime. A windy day is a good day for a getaway. Sayu, Shumatsuban at your disposal.
Oh, what? It's got like a mace.
I'm out of here.
She's Sonic!
Come on out. Can I go catch up on my sleep?
Another character for the daycare. Seems to be some kind of watcher or a spy, and she has a club, but I saw like little Healy effects. She's also Sonic. Yeah, right here. Got little heal buff imagery. This is in the I'm a quirky character category, which once again isn't a bad thing, but it does make it harder for me to want this character. But yeah, I do think it's interesting that they have like some big old bludgeoning weapon, and you know, they have a small stature, and then they have some like healing effect going on. It does make me curious how they work. Next one we have Yoimira.
Hey, Pops! Rise and shine! Well, who do we have here? Welcome! You're just in time for the fireworks show.
Okay, Archer. It's been a while since we've seen an Archer, I think.
Pew, pew, pew. One, two, three.
Okay.
Beautiful, isn't it? If you like that, you're gonna love this! A festive reprise!
Jeez. Oh, okay.
Don't even think about getting in the way next time. Although, if you wanted to make yourself more useful, you could try wearing something a little more fun and festive, or pretend to be a ghost to entertain the kids. You know, liven up the atmosphere. I can't just...
Yoimira, they've already run off.
Huh? Hey! I wasn't done talking!
This is one of the trailers that I kind of dig. You have, like, she looks like she's on a stage with the backdrop, and like the information hanging down in her name there. When I first saw her, I thought she was going to be very different as far as play wise, because she's got like the body wraps. I thought she was going to be more of like a brawler, but she's an archer and that's fine, and she shoots fire, and then there's the whole firework pyrotechnic stuff. So this was a cool bit right here. And I'm sure some people upon first watch maybe have even missed it because they would just click off the moment they just see that it was over. However, they probably did time it just enough so if you did click off, like right here when I paused, you would see this and go back to it. But yeah, I do think that this was like an interesting bit at the end here. It adds to the character's personality. This one, although quirky, has a lot of personality, and I like that. I don't think her story itself is very deep. She seems just to be like a local, but they did a good job with the trailer to be like, oh, she's interesting to talk to be around, or interact with. All those three things I said are the same freaking thing. All right, this next one is Aloy.
Aloy here. I don't know this world, but my arrows are sharp and my bow's ready.
Wait.
If your party needs help, I'll do what I can. This land has a past full of secrets, just like my world. I'll uncover all of it, if I have enough time.
Is this a crossover?
One world needed saving, now another. I'm Aloy, ready for the hunt.
Yeah! Horizon Zero Dawn. I just saw the thing.
This'll pack a punch. The hunt is on. This is a new one.
Alright, so I never played or watched anything related to Horizon Zero Dawn. I feel mixed about this. I feel like some people would absolutely love this, and some people would absolutely 100% hate this. I don't know where I'm on that spectrum. I don't play either of these games. I've never touched Horizon Zero Dawn. I've only seen some gameplay of it, or like a trailer to the first game, and yeah, and I haven't played far enough in Genshin to see the majority of these characters, especially this one. I had no idea that they did this. Are there other characters that they had crossovers with? They literally isekai'd a character from another game. I feel like people would be a little weirded out playing through the Genshin story with this character who honestly has no stake in anything other than like, well, I guess I'm here, better save the world again, I guess. Okay, strange. If you're this far in the video and you have yet to subscribe to my channel, what the actual fuck? Bruh. Kujou Sara.
To strike your foe takes unity between mind, arrow, and bow. Listen. Thunder speaks the will of the almighty Shogun. The duty of a Tengu warrior is to watch over the mountains and forests, while that of the Kujou clan is to guard Inazuma. I have agreed to fight by your side, and I will honor that commitment. On my watch, Inazuma will always be defended, and the will of the Shogun will always be done.
Ooh.
Storm the front! To manifest eternity per the almighty Shogun's will.
Whoa.
That is what I aspire to.
She's Archer. She's got the electric stuff going on, which is cool. This is definitely underboob the character. No complaints. I'm curious about the wing situation going on. It's on the short end of trailers. She's not in the quirky character category. Or maybe she is just one note and it's just like, I'm the leader of this and I will destroy anything that questions this thing. But she seems like a badass. And yeah, once again, like I said before, the whole Japanese vibe. And I like how this character is more focused on the archery side of things rather than just samurai sword. Because we've seen a couple like that already. So I like this switch up. You know, Japan's known for their archery as well. They got like the longbow thing. Raiden Shogun.
In the land of the Narukami, centuries pass without change. Deep in the heart of the city stands the lofty abode of the Raiden Shogun. She looks down upon her realm at mortal joys and woes, and sees a world mired in impermanence. By mighty lightning, she rules over the transients. Trivial yearning and petty passion, they vanish like a mist, but the Shogun pursues, unfettered and unperturbed eternity.
Ooh.
Only through eternity are you closest to the heavenly principles.
This character's got sass.
Lightning is eternal. The world is but shadow. Fantasy can only survive with an underlying reality. Reality is the stillness buried deep beneath the illusion. This is eternity. Torn to oblivion!
Whoa.
Waking world, you seem woven from the stuff of dreams. All shall fade away.
Very cinematic. Also one of the longer ones because they have that whole setup and then it goes into like what she's about. Am I seeing that correctly? Is she pulling the blade from her chest? I mean, Scott Pilgrim does it. Man, I wish I could pull a sword out of my chest. It seems like they are some kind of guardian or even a god, which is pretty intense. And it makes me wonder, do you have characters who are just better stat-wise compared to some other characters that exist? Alright, this next one is Sangonomiya Kokomi.
The sea is teeming with creatures, all fighting to survive. When a mighty predator approaches, weaker fish seek shelter. Yet many will still be devoured. But when smaller fish gather together, they can act as one body for the protection of all. This is how the weak mount their resistance. Once dwelt in the dark ocean depths. How must they have felt when they first gazed upon the starry sky? Thinking of that moment makes me cherish the precious light I see now. Billowing surge! fish gather to overcome larger foes. Watatsumi must unite to survive. And I must lead them to new, open waters. For that is my duty as Divine Priestess.
Lots of her talking, very, very poetic, also giving little lore drops to her character. I was more mesmerized by the animation of this character, her movements and stuff, swimming in place as she does her attacks. Very fluid motions. Her design is very fish-like, like her dress and everything. I think that's kind of cool. It really works with, there's a nice aesthetic going on here. Cool little character concept. I enjoyed this one. Okay, next we have Toma.
The way I see it, housekeeping is a unique skill set. Cleaning, cooking, and mending are among my greatest strengths.
Oh, okay, he was
I'm
just
not from
in another
Inazuma
trailer.
Originally. I took a boat all the way here from Mondstadt. Inazumans are definitely more particular about etiquette than Mondstadters. On that note, if you ever want my lady's opinion, you may have to coax it out of her. She's so polite, she doesn't always speak her mind. People whose attention is always focused on other people's weaknesses tend to expose their own weaknesses pretty easily. Check this out! Supporting fire! Hey, how about we go for a nice meal sometime? My treat, of course.
Main character's best friend energy. He stands out in his own way, but he's just kind of hanging out, doing his own thing. And he'll give advice every once in a while. He gives advice in this video. People whose attention is always focused on other people's weaknesses tend to expose their own weaknesses pretty easily. What he says here is very true, and it's definitely a message to consider for real. Imagine you upload a YouTube video, just having fun doing something, right? And then someone goes into that comment section and they write some horrible, nasty shit. You read that comment, and you just have to realize, man, this person's fucking weak. Because outside of the internet, their real life probably fucking blows. So there's a lot of truth to this. Thanks, Toma. You have my respect. Alright, next up we have Goro.
The key to seizing victory in battle lies in remembering the meaning of battle and employing the right tactics to generate momentum, making your forces unstoppable. With momentum on our side and close camaraderie, we are unstoppable. General Goro of the Watatsumi Island Resistance ready and waiting.
He's a dog.
Everyone on me! Thank you for your guidance. This is a victory that belongs to the both of us.
Don't really care for this guy. Yeah, this guy just doesn't seem interesting. He's got a basic bow, and he's a dog man. And then they even gave him like the paw print thing. It's literally just I'm Furry the character. I just wish there was more to the character. You know how in anime there's like there's the protagonist character that just exists for exposition, so you can kind of like self-insert. He's an okay design, but I feel like that's just all he is. So if this is your favorite character, by all means keep playing your favorite character. I don't care what you play as. I just wouldn't rock this guy in my party. Okay, next up we have Arataki Itto.
Oh, come on. The Vision Hunt decree is over. Okay, start at the top. Oh, my beautiful Vision, I know you're up there. Oh, yeah.
This is the bad boy.
If you want to take my vision, you're
Oh.
gonna need a lot more people.
Got a big old club.
Cause I'm
That's new.
Arataki Itto, the Supreme, the one and only. Now it's showtime.
The one and only. You gotta be kidding me. Oh, he's got puns.
Let's roll.
Don't let him run away! Kujou Sara is coming!
Run away. No can do. Time to show you what it is that makes my gang stick around. Who wants some of this? Oh, how nice of you to join us, General Kujou. Are you here to make me beg for mercy too?
Final warning. Surrender your vision now, Arataki Itto.
Oh, but General, if you join the Arataki gang now, I can show you what dreams are made of. I swear, when I get my vision back, I'm gonna show her.
Boss, looks like it ain't up here.
Huh? I'm sorry, what?
Boss, I think this might be yours. Way down here.
Hey, you better wipe that smirk off your face. Okay, I'm coming up there.
But yeah, he's a bad boy thug guy. I love the music that they were using because once again had like the Japanese influence, but it also kind of had like a little bit of like a rock vibe, and then there was some jazzy elements to it as well. He's got a lot of personality. That's what this character is. Unlike the previous character, Goro, who had very little personality, this guy's got a lot of personality. And I like that. I'm gonna take more personality over less anytime, and I think most people would. I don't know, like yeah, this guy's got a lot of nice little design stuff that's popping out, and he's got a lot of character. It's pretty cool. He's up there. He's definitely up there. Now we have Yunjin.
My name is Yunjin. It's such a pleasure to finally meet you, and I'd be honored to have you attend a performance sometime. The Yunhan Opera Troupe has been under my leadership for quite some time now. Life mirrors opera, just as opera reflects life. It's what I truly love, and it's what I will be pursuing for the rest of my life. Many of Liyue's legends are centered around stories of gods and the Adepti, so most operas focus on the supernatural too. But in this age of humanity, I would rather like to tell stories about ordinary people. I began my training in the art of the spear, hoping to enhance my performance in stage combat. I stuck with it, hoping to master the techniques of self-defense. I believe I've grasped the basics now. I dare say you'd better be careful when we're sparring together in the future. And step. Flex up. Observe. Strike is one.
Her design is cute. I do respect this character for being different, where she's not just some ordinary character just living in this world, but rather one that actually has an explanation and a reason right out the gate as to why she does what she does and how she knows the things that she knows. I'm not saying that other characters didn't, but I felt like in this character demo, she has done it the most compared to some of the ones in the past, which were more cryptic and or just straight up, it is what it is, and you just accept it. Hello there. Next up, we have Shenhe. We're gonna find out right now.
Halt!
Oh, we've seen this guy before, right?
This explains all the demonic activity. It was all you're doing. This ends now! A cryo avatar! Who are you?
Demons are masters of deception. Never let down your guard.
Oh?
Unleash! Transfiguration! Mind be purged, world be saved! Cryo incarnate!
This demonic activity is an omen of impending disaster. Perhaps Master was right.
Thank you for rendering your assistance. I see you're also an adept exorcist. Some of your techniques look quite familiar, so I'm wondering...
I am Shenhe. I roam these mountains. You needn't worry about me.
Shenhe.
But you, your temperature seems unusually high. Are you all right?
Oh, my popsicle! I almost forgot! Wait, Shenhe? Wait, so you're my auntie?
I like this character. Design-wise, love this. Not you. Get the fuck off my screen. This character, totally a girl boss. This right here, I wish I was that ice. You know, she's very business, very sexy. She cares. I'm pretty sure Shenhe has made it to the top of the list, and I'm sure she's up there for a lot of people, and it makes sense why. Okay, but now it's time to go to Yae Miko. Nice, Sakura.
I then found myself reborn as Guji Yae, leading shrine maidens in sacred matters, sipping tea and kneeling in solemn meditation, and making appearances to listen to shrine visitors.
Enough. Oh, this won't do. We're making a light novel here, not a dry documentary.
Huh?
And honestly, do you really think I lead such a boring existence?
No, not at all, Lady Guji.
That's chief editor to you.
Yes, chief editor.
A light novel begins with pure imagination. For example, I must say, this is quite the cunning trap. But have I walked into your trap, or have you walked into mine? I'm always watching. A sight
admit defeat. Just do it. Exercise me.
Exorcise you? But I thought you weren't ready to return to the cycle. So first, let me show you what a cruel world this can be.
No.
It's so graphic. You'd never really do something like that, would you?
Splendid. When the reader starts asking that question, you know you've written a good one.
I like them a lot. Okay, so they have the white and red classic, like, shrine maiden appearance, which is what she is. I like how she's sassy, kind of mischievous. It really fits with the Kitsune vibe that's going on here. And her abilities seemed very different compared to a lot of other stuff that we've seen. Phasing in and out, leaving behind totems to trap the enemies. I like how she has that line where, am I trapped in here with you, or are you trapped here with me, kind of thing, because it shows that kind of confidence. However, there is that hint of a sadistic side as well. Maybe she does more than just eliminate her enemies. Maybe there's a little torture involved. Allegedly, but it goes along with her mischievous nature, just kind of leaving the reader of the soon-to-be light novel, whatever it is that she's working on, to keep them guessing. Seems like a legit character. The next character is Kamisato Ayato, which I believe there was a Kamisato Ayaka earlier, so I imagine this is going to be a brother or something to that previous character. Well, let's check it out.
Do not expose your identities, and wait for the signal before you act. Yes, sir. Grand festivals like this monopolize the Tenryou Commission's resources. Your timing is impeccable. Pity you were all they sent.
Let's go for a stroll. We wish to discuss cooperation with the Yashiro Commission.
A humble suggestion. The Fatui would do well to update their intelligence concerning me. Ah, but of course, that would require one of you to return in one piece. Cascade! If assassinating me was that simple, I can name a few rival clans who would have had an easier time over the years. Kamisato Ayato, Sayu!
My lord, we failed to protect you.
I do not keep the Shumatsuban for the trivial matter of dealing with assassins.
Trivial?
So, what's the situation?
The operation went smoothly. The resistance platoon is hidden near Tenshikaku. Forgive me, sir, but taking this level of risk, it seems out of character.
Let's just say, I'm doing a small favor for my sister.
I like Ayato. He reminds me of, if you know BlazBlue, you know Jin Kisaragi. Except this guy is 1,000 times more sane. Nobility, this military guy. He's confident, he's not concerned with assassins whatsoever. They reference the Fatui, which is something I recognized from when I reacted to the Epoch Winter fan song, which I checked afterwards and learned that Fatui means fool in Latin. That's cool. I don't know. He looks like a boss. Well, you don't fuck with this guy. Yelan or Yelan? Guess I'll find out, hopefully.
Leaving the city? It's a real jungle out there. They say there's this group of guys now who always come out in the rain, since it drowns out the cries for help and washes away any sign of a struggle.
That all sounds perfect.
You sure have nerves of steel, ma'am.
This music.
Stop! Now hand over your goods! Bandits! Help! Help!
Been waiting long? I figured. Well, the waiting game is over. Gotcha.
I mean, that's pretty cool. God damn
it. Someone revealed my plans to you in advance, and you didn't think to run. What can I say? Much obliged.
I surrender! Please, let me go! You'll never see me again!
Oh, so now you're afraid. I'm sorry, but this is too little, too late.
No, wait! I know who gave you away! I'll tell you! No, I'll take you to them myself!
Smart decision. Get up. Chop chop. Let's go and pay your friends a little visit.
Why is this man complaining? This guy too.
It should have been me, not him! It's not fair!
God damn it. Love her weapon. The music in this was fucking awesome. This is super noir feeling, and I freaking love that. That whole sequence is incredible. We have this scene, the music rises, she reveals her eyes, and you hear the voice. Like, it's a combo that went into my brain and was just like, this character's trying to seduce you. And I was like, nuh-uh, not gonna work. You're not gonna win me over just because your character has the soothing voice. Just because you got the revealing outfit. Just because you got that music that makes you feel things. I'm not gonna fall for it. This character's gonna be freaking lame. Then she turns out to be one of the more original characters in general. And look at that. I mean, the character demo was just really good. It's done really well. It's very much in your face and shows the character's personality. And there's like an old schoolness to it that I like. I feel like I've worn this shirt for less than an hour and I'm already gonna have to shower because I'm sweating. Alright, moving on. Next character, Kuki Shinobu.
I wear a mask because I don't want to be recognized by anybody. I'm Kuki Shinobu, deputy leader of the Arataki gang. My primary responsibilities are to bring in business and maintain a stable team, as well as bailing out the gang from the police station. Being in a gang means having lots of free time. I often finish reading a whole book or even pass a certificate exam before I even realize it. Just let me know if you ever find yourself in a pinch. I can help you out.
Shinobu, time to roll.
Don't tell me they did it again.
I just saw her little tagline there, Jack of all trades. Based on how she described herself and what she does seem like a jack of all trades. She does whatever her gang needs her to do. Itto's gang. Although she appears to be young, she's also very much like the mother of the group. I like the design. And she's got daggers, right? It's like a sword, but maybe she also has a dagger. And by dagger, I mean the tanto, or maybe even a short sword like a wakizashi. But yeah, she seems like a pretty badass character. Let's just start.
The name's Shikanoin Heizou, sharpest and most successful detective of the Tenryou Commission. Detective agencies spend too much time investigating extramarital affairs and tracking down runaway pets. And it goes without saying that fighting thugs and fetching things isn't my kind of work. A true detective uses their smarts to outwit criminals at every single turn. You keep following the clues until you find the culprit. And you don't stop until every last piece of the puzzle is in place. There are always those people who resort to violence at the very last second, as if that'll somehow solve their problems.
Oh. Okay.
Fracture! Confess!
Let's just hope the rain hasn't washed all the clues away.
I could be wrong, but maybe the first brawler, or at least the first martial artist, where it's like just hands and feet. Like, as we saw him kicking, I didn't see an actual weapon being used. Like, this guy just kind of seems pretty unique. He's not as showboaty as a lot of the others, but it definitely seems like this guy could kick ass if he wants to. Seems aight. Okay, next character we have is Klee or Klee. Let's start.
Trainee Forest Ranger Klee reporting for duty. I will ensure your safe passage through this forest. I think I finally got that line down. I didn't get any of it wrong, did I? I'm feeling alright today. I'll take the chance to try to get some more done than usual. Even if it's a life or death situation, I'll never need to rely on their power again.
While watching this trailer, I couldn't help but just really enjoy the music that was happening. And her voice, her English voice, wasn't bad, very cutesy. The music was very happy. She seems like a very happy-go-lucky, joyful character. She doesn't really interest me too much. Not saying I dislike her. It's just, it's very simple. Like I said, Toma was very side character like, but I enjoyed his trailer. I think that character is all right. She's like in the same level as that, where it's just like, yeah, I'm just here and I'm just doing my thing. I like the nature vibe she's got going on here with the earthy colors and the green hair, and then she's got like the nice pink that pops out from the character. Yeah, cool. No complaints. Ignari, not sure. Hopefully they say it.
The sweetwater mushroom has a brown conical cap and a white body. Consuming it may induce delirium.
Beautiful mushroom maiden!
Sweetwater mushrooms proliferate very rapidly during the rainy season. Much like these fungi here. On second thought, perhaps these are multiplying a little too fast. One with the forest. Fungi aren't typically this aggressive. I wonder what's causing it. Could it be a new genetic mutation? Or maybe it's the rain agitating them. Huh? Looks like I'll have to put my research on hold. Let's nip that in the bud. So that was a hallucination. Has a slightly bitter taste and a distinctive scent. Toxin is mild, but alters the perception of one's surroundings. All right. I'll add that to the next edition of A Field Guide to Rainforest Life.
Kind of feels like the type that's always working or trying to figure something out. That's cool. His voice was good, but I feel like if this character kept talking to me, I'd get annoyed after a while. Nothing personal to the voice actor who actually voiced them. I think you nailed it. This guy sounds like a nerd, and you did it. So great job. He's got nature stuff, which is cool. That's very new. I wasn't sure if I saw it before in another character or not, but this guy definitely has that going on. His design is a little all over the place. And I think that's what bothers me the most. He seems very vertical, like almost too vertical. He's got these long ears that are pointing straight up. They're never drooping off to the sides or twitching in any other ways. They almost look more like a head ornament rather than actual ears themselves. His hair is very straight down. And then he's got these stripes that are going down, making it feel elongated. And then the colors he's got going on, I don't know if that's in reference to something. They're all over the place. He's got blue and blue with like a magenta on it, this gold-ish emblem, but then he's got this yellow flower. And it's also got black in it. So there's like this weird, almost hexagonal checkered pattern. And then there's like this light green, and you got this cyan, you got this other blue, and you got this silver. My eye is traveling around almost too much. And then I'm getting slapped in the face with his like, oh yes, research. I must continue the research. It's just very off. There's something off about it. Do you like this character? What's your opinion of him? Do you think his design is awesome? If so, tell me why you think it's awesome. I think everyone should have their own opinion, of course. And this is just mine with this guy. Anyway, let's move on to the next. This one is Dory.
Welcome to Dory's Divine Bazaar. Everything you need with service you can rely on. Want to take a nap? Stay dry? See a sumpter beast? No problem. With enough Mora, you can afford to do anything. Even take on the Academia.
I think of like Genie in the Lamp, and then I think of like Arabian Nights because she's kind of got that aesthetic as well. She's also another childlike character that wields a club. I feel like if people are actually using this character, that they're spamming the move where she just twirls around and hits everything. It just seems like she wants money, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I don't really know what else she's about. I don't know, I have some questions about this character, but just from this trailer alone, I'm kind of like, she's alright. Nothing to the point where it's hitting me, making me feel like, oh, I really want to play with this character. Alright, this one is Candace.
Welcome, weary traveler from afar. I'd really love to look into your future with my amber eye if I could.
Like the music so far.
Nights in the desert are cruel. Sleep soundly and know that I am watching over you.
Ooh.
Do your worst. Too easy.
A shield is not enough to protect the most important things. That's why I must also wield a spear.
Hear my prayer.
This new strength I now gain in the present is preparing me for trials that lie ahead in the future.
I'm not a huge fan of desert levels in games because I personally find them to be pretty boring. I haven't been to the desert world in Genshin, and I've heard a lot of good things from people in the comment section who know about it. But one thing I will say about desert levels in general is that the music in desert levels go hard. For example, Gerudo Valley from Legend of Zelda. Who doesn't love that? I like the music in this. I also like the character. Let's talk about the character. Spear and shield. Awesome. And I just noticed that she has the heterochromia. That's cool. Yeah, I don't know. There's just a lot about this character that I'm getting like a lot of badass vibes from it. Like, sure, she's attractive, you know, but I feel like this definitely feels like a warrior. I really like that about this character. It reminds me of like Crony from HoloLive. But yeah, overall, yeah, cool character. The next character is Cyno, and the only thing I know about this is that a VTuber known as Sayu was the voice actor for this character. But other than knowing that, I haven't really looked into it much. So let's check out Cyno.
The sands devour. A new life emerges. In the cycle of life and death, whatever is sown will be reaped. And when the moral order is disrupted, judgment will come swiftly. Every soul will be weighed. I vow to uphold the rules and punish evil. No matter how arduous this path may be, I will follow its course to the end. Through me, justice is served.
Until one day, humanity stands blameless, purged of its transgressions.
I don't think Kagi/Sayu will ever see this, but great job. It's such a cool aesthetic, right? I love characters dealing with the whole death theme. You know, Grim Reaper stuff, Hades. Right here, you have Anubis. And I really like this transformation mode he has that he goes into. There is like an edginess to it, of course, but you'll have that. But I feel like this one was done better than Xiao, the Doombane. I feel like this is similar to that, but that one was a little too much. This one feels just right. And I know they're different characters, of course, and they shouldn't feel the same. But yeah, great character demo. I would definitely rock this guy in my team somewhere. This one is Nilo. Let's get into it.
Miss Nilu, will you teach me the dance you came up with in the desert? Slow down. First, close your eyes and relax your body. Then, picture an oasis bathed in starlight. Now imagine that you are the water, clear and bright, just like jelly. To the world, you're invisible. It never stops to notice you. So you stand up, you leap and twirl, and you show them through dance. Here! A captivating dance is like water about to boil. Quiet whispers grow into a chorus of cheers. To make ripples in your audience's hearts, you have to make a big splash. Dance with the waves! Pretty amazing, huh?
Nilu? Do you know where the ribbon for tomorrow's performance went?
Sure do. I was practicing with it in the desert. I'll work something out.
What I like most about this one is how we have another artist, you know, like in combat or whatever, through their art form. But yeah, she's pretty cool. Nice color scheme too. She's got the blue and like with gold trim, the complementary red hair. There's a mix of darks and lights in her color scheme too, which work very well. With most characters, or some characters, either positioned in such a way so your eye travels, or there's some kind of gradient. And here they definitely are working with gradients, lighter up top and darker at the bottom. But there's still things down here that do pop. Your eye definitely travels and moves around this character in a more comfortable way compared to that other guy who was nature archery research boy whose name I can't say. This is good character design. Nahida.
Are you ready? 3, 2, 1.
Remind me of the Legend of Zelda, like Torok people.
A new friend.
Whoa, the feeling of this just switched. This trailer did something that I feel like not many others have done. Feels almost very Disney-like leading up to this, where it's like, oh, the world is magical! There's something about that. It feels very happy, but it feels very important. There's something nostalgic about it. I don't know. I can't quite put my finger on the feeling. And then it does this, where it calms down, and then everything's not okay all of a sudden. And this is sad. And it's lonely. And it's a little anxiety inducing. I am curious about this character's story. It feels like it's super important. It almost seems like they're trapped or something, and that there's like this hope or this memory of good times or this joyful feeling, and then reality hits and it's like, oh, it's actually not that great. Or maybe that's more of like in her mind, and that she's actually lonely and afraid. People will put on a mask and they will appear like, oh, everything's fine, I'm happy, this is great. But then on the inside, it's like, oh, this is scary and I'm in turmoil right now. Wow, yeah, this was by far probably the most thought-provoking one. All right, so this character is Layla.
Even when we're not looking up at the stars, they're always there, watching over us. Why do I have to write so many papers? Why?
I've felt that before.
My guiding stars! Not now! Stars, shine for me! Huh? What are you doing up? Me? Sleepwalking, of course.
Oh, that's nice. Right, Layla. Okay, so once again, going into like some colors. Very simple. She's got white, black, blue, and gold. Sometimes you only need like 3 or 4 colors on a character to really sell them. Overall, she's pretty cute. I like how her hair flares out and that it spirals here, and then she's got big old twin tails going on that also are drill-like. A student who specializes in theoretical astrology. Sleep deprivation, yep, okay, definitely a student. I feel like this character is very relatable. This is your average white girl college student. Don't hate me just because it's true, please. Please don't. Yeah, she's cool. Nothing that's super intense or thought-provoking, but just another one of those trailers where, yeah, she does what she does. and she's aight. All right, this next one is Wanderer. Okay. Oh, I remember this guy from Maxor's video.
Hey, you there! We heard there's an inn near here. Gonna need you to show us the way. Huh? We won't ask twice.
Two big, strong Fatui, asking me to be their chaperone. Is this some kind of joke?
Think you're funny, do you? You'll regret that!
Sure I will.
Ooh. What is the sound design right now?
The wind rises.
And the...
Forward to that. Sadly, you won't be there to see it! What a waste of space. Just as useless alive or dead. You were looking for trouble. No one to blame but yourselves. Huh? We're done here. Next time you're looking for directions, I suggest you find your own way.
Okay. This video was kind of nutty. The music went hard, the visuals went hard. It looked like it was like a subtle chaotic feel to it, where you would hear kind of like a weird distorted chant in the background. You'd have his eyes kind of scribbled out, or it would kind of glitch and there'd be like a slight like acid trip looking frame in there. Really cool style. And this Wanderer guy in general as a character, this is the face of someone who's like, I will kill you and enjoy every second of it. He doesn't appear to be the most badass dude, but I think that definitely actually helps this feeling right here. Yeah, like, I guess what I'm trying to say is that this character defies expectations. You see him and you think, oh, maybe he's just some noble kid. He's got a little bit of an attitude. Okay, maybe he's just like some bratty kid. And then he takes off in the air and he starts just bombing you with his magic. Pretty rough. So yeah, cool character concept. Alright, so this next one is Faruzan, which I think was actually the one that has, it's either a crossover or heavily inspired by Hatsune Miku.
No sense of respect! Academic research isn't some kind of fad. Topics don't just go in and out of fashion. Madame Faruzan's life started more than 100 years ago, and her story covers as much ground as some major academic publications. What is it that you would like to learn more about? Different forms of pressure-based puzzle mechanisms? The base layer design of elemental monuments? Sure, I'll hang out with you youngsters. dare to mess with me! Truth repeats its course! What do you think? Got any interest in becoming my student? What did you say? Oh, I'm old now, so every other phrase escapes my ears. Try calling me Madam Farozan, and I'll see if I can pick that up.
Yeah, so I can see the Hatsune Miku reference in appearance. I don't know if there is one personality-wise, because, I mean, as far as I know, Hatsune Miku is just a Vocaloid, and I don't know if there's any story around that or her character. Sorry. She says that she is old. I, too, am old, so I feel like we would have an understanding of life. I get the vibes of angry library lady. You're whispering in the library, and she's behind her desk like, shh. She's that. Sure, why not? Alright, this next character is Yao Yao.
Don't put off until tomorrow what you can do today. Come on, let's get a move on. Oh, spear training is really kind of boring. Maybe I'll go play with Uruguay for a little bit, and come back and do some more training after I've had a break. I grew up in the mountains. Auntie Cloud Retainer, Uncle Mountain Shaper. There are adepti everywhere in Liyue. I've met loads of them. If you encounter any difficulties outdoors, then let me help you. Uruguay, you're up! Ready, go! Why do so many people make such a big deal out of seeking the Adepti? There's Adepti everywhere, isn't there?
I think it's interesting how she has these toys, these plushes that attack for you. I mean, I guess she'd be fun gameplay-wise, right? I don't really know, but I'm not really into anything else. Once again, Daycare Squad. I'm kind of not super fond with, like, their running animation. Like, they're just running with their arms out like a plane. All of the child characters have the same run animation. Maybe that's just me, but that feels a little old and unoriginal. I think her gameplay is probably the best part of her. Seems a little boring personality-wise, but you had like Nahida before. Even Klee like dealt with was a troublemaker doing things with explosives, and you have another one who's a freaking zombie, and I guess they just really wanted like, here's just a kid. And her toys fight for her. Okay, but I think there could have been more. Now, before I get killed by the fan base, let's go to the next one. This character is, Alatham? Not sure. Let's find out.
Where were we? Ah, yes. Alhaitham told you he's a feeble scholar, did he? Well, that's a bold-faced lie.
Told you.
So his false modesty was just a facade to hide his true abilities?
Absolutely. He doesn't want others knowing his true strength.
Well, how strong is he? Stronger than you?
Of course not.
You know, I actually ran into him last week while I was in the desert looking for creative inspiration. If he was going out there to study ancient runes anyway, why didn't he travel with me? We could have split the cost. frankly, however strong he is or isn't, you just don't want to mess with him.
I thought you'd have learned to think before you speak by now.
We didn't say anything bad. All positive, actually.
Surely you didn't drag me out just to play cards.
We didn't get that far yet. We were just debating how good you'd be in a fight.
You keep your cards close to your chest.
Not at all.
So you don't fight much?
Yeah, right, with his temper?
I don't need to fight. I only need to think. Everything is connected. All I have to do is find the weakest link, deal with the causal factors, and everything else tends to resolve itself.
The process of elimination.
Essentially, more time on contemplation, less time on execution. Simple, isn't it?
Not really.
Ugh, I knew we shouldn't have brought this up with you.
I thought my answer was quite engrossing. Boss, this is good wine. I'll have the same, please.
He's definitely more of a strategist or tactician of sorts. You know, I don't fight, I just think. Is that him actually projecting his thoughts and they're doing the action and it's not physically him doing the fight? Or is it really just him like, oh, if I think enough about it, then I just have the solution and I can immediately do it and I don't consider it a fight because it's just me doing step 1, 2, and 3 and it's not some drawn out thing. And I do actually enjoy this trailer a lot too, because you have other characters who are talking about him to give the audience an idea of how people perceive this guy and stuff that he's known to do, how he acts. Character-wise, I mean, yeah, he's hot, whatever. Whatever, dude. You just stand there with your shoulders exposed and your cool jacket hanging off and you're not even holding on to it, it's just there. Just fine. You got the cool gray hair and the weird technology and whatever. I'm not jealous. Nah, he's very cool. He's very cool. All right, next one. This one is Deya.
Every merc knows the rules. You don't steal food from a wolf's jaws.
That'd be a bad idea.
Time for talks over.
Boring conversation anyway.
Ooh, another brawler? Hell yeah. Ooh.
I've warned you before. Keep your hands off Aru Village.
Ah, dear. The green-eyed wolf answers to no one.
Listen, I want to help you, but first you gotta back down.
Time for talks over.
Boring conversation anyway. He's a guest, Candace. We were just sparring.
Is that right? I do apologize. Please come with me.
Candace is in a good mood. You're off the hook. Remember what I told you. Final warning.
Even a wolf had better avoid lions and hunters.
Ugh, boring conversation anyway. That's a freaking meme, right?
Boring conversation anyway.
Why did she say it twice in the same character demo? I mean, it's the catchphrase, I guess, right? It's her catchphrase. This character's really cool, like the black, gold, and red. Just very stylized, very like harder lines. It feels like there's a filter on it that makes it look like it's it could be coming out of the game Hades or something, right? I like how there is a relationship with her and Candace here of some kind. I feel like Deha is works for her, you know, maybe a bodyguard or part of some council. But yeah, she's cool. I like her a lot. I think she'd be a lot of fun. Now we have Mika.
Ever since I was a kid, I've wanted to become a cartographer and map out every corner of Teyvat. It's only later on that I discovered the Knights of Favonius actually have that kind of role. Oh, Klee? She's super cheerful. Although I've had to revise my maps on several occasions due to her experiments with dangerous weapons. Mika, frontline land surveyor, Knights of Favonius Reconnaissance Company, reporting in. Final warning. Let's keep going, team. Yeah. The rain is really coming down. I hope it won't get too muddy out here, or I'll need to help everyone clean their boots.
Oh boy, what to say about this guy? I did like how he rocks a spear and a crossbow. Haven't really seen that combo before. And it definitely feels like he's a character that could be, whether or not he's like that in the game, as a character as far as personality goes and where he is in this world, he does seem like another jack of all trades kind of, in a way. I'm gonna be honest, and maybe it's better in another language, but the voice acting, the moment I heard this kid's voice, I was just like, no. It's a dude doing the voice, and guys cannot do little kid voices as well as most women voice actors can. And it's not always the voice actors, right? It's also the voice directors too, because they choose what they want. I can totally tell it's like some 30-year-old guy. And if I'm wrong about that, then I'm sorry. But that's just how it felt. All right, moving on to the next one. This one is Kaveh. Let's check it out.
Nice to meet you. I'm Kaveh, an architect. You must have seen the Palace of Alcazarzaray before. I sacrificed so much for that. Everyone else thought I'd lost my mind. You don't spend all your savings on your hobbies, do you? You definitely don't want to end up borrowing money in a moment of impulsivity. Living with debt is miserable. Watch and learn! Feast your eyes! Come at me! Sight clear! There's still room for improvement. Better make my finishing touches before the deadline creeps up. Is that the client? Wait. Oh, it's you!
Of course people pause there. Man's got cake. This character gives me Howl from Howl's Moving Castle vibes. But he's an architect, and that's cool. And when he was doing his combat stuff, I like this yellow animation thing, this yellow trail for his sword. How they designed it, it almost looks like a protractor. Smart guy, he's pretty boy, he likes doing his job. Once again, he's got the cake. What's there not to like about him? Second to last one, Heizou. Okay, got ourselves a cauldron.
It seems this elixir has attracted some difficult customers.
Belligerence and avarice. For these vices, I'm afraid I can offer no cure.
A good beating ought to do it. As flowers wither, so does life fade. There's no escaping it.
Hand over the elixir, or you die tonight!
My mortality is no one's concern but mine. Remember, health comes first. Taking a turn for the better.
Dr. Baiju, the dew. Here you go.
This remedy is powerful, yet painstaking to concoct. Ineffective without moonlight dew as a potentiator, but just a drop will cure Gui's cold in no time.
Cold medicine? You came all the way out here for cold medicine?
You didn't check before seeking to steal it? I have serious concerns for your cognitive health.
The first round of treatment has clearly failed. Let's try a stronger dose.
No, please, no.
How many people lost their minds when this character came out because this is an attractive boy? That's just stating the obvious, right? Also a doctor, chilled out doctor dude, good vibes, but deep down there's something else there. Maybe something a little darker or a little unhinged, at least if other people were to know about it. Maybe it has to do with mortality, or maybe finding a way to make people immortal. Most of the questions I have are about this thing, this snake. Like, one, it's talking, why and how. Two, if you go in the bedroom with him, does the snake have to come also? But yeah, very interesting character. I like him. The snake? Alright, we have finally made it to the last Genshin Impact character demo on this playlist as of now. There will no doubt be more characters released in the future, probably, and if there are, maybe I'll react to the new ones. But as of right now, for this video, this is the last character I have yet to see. So, without further ado, the last character on this list, Kirara.
Thank you for choosing Komuniya Express. Anything you need delivered? Rest assured, there's no destination I can't deliver to. I wonder what's inside this package. No. No peeking at my customer's stuff. Ooh, maybe I could curl up inside this box. I'm out of time! Stop here, please! Express delivery! The lady Kitsune told me that those who don't work can't fit into human society. I'm not going back to the boonies, even if it means I get to be a great yokai or whatever.
Okay, so that was Kirara. She's a delivery girl. Yeah, once again, another character just kind of going about their daily business, doing their thing. Except she is a yokai, specifically a Nekomata, which is the twin-tailed demon cat thing that would normally torment human society, I believe. However, she loves her job and human society. Thank goodness. You know, interesting that she can kind of do a solid snake thing and pop into the box and move around that way. That's kind of cool. It also seemed like she was a little bit of a martial artist, or not necessarily a brawler. It wasn't like kicking and punching, but there was a lot of flipping action and swipes with claws. You know, very cat-like. And yeah, nice dress. It's simple. It's cool. She's cool. I like the flower patterns on her clothes. I like this spin on this kind of cat girl character rather than the one that was way earlier on. Even though it had hints of, like, this is a cat. It wasn't as harsh as the first one where they threw it in your face and it was definitely like, cat girl, yeah. It didn't do it as much with this one. So I think it's a good character. Sure. No problems. And oh my god, we are finally done. This took so long for me to do, to plan, and I know it's going to take forever to edit. Future me, put a message here if it took forever to edit. I enjoyed watching all this. I hope you enjoyed my reactions and hearing my thoughts about these characters. It was a lot to take in, but I'm glad I did it. So once again, thank you so much for joining me. If you made it this far in the video, please leave a like and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And you know what, if you are subscribed, maybe share the video. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and if I could do that before the end of the summer, I would be ecstatic. That would mean so much to me. But thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate it. If you made it to the end of the video, if you are a freaking legend and you're here right now hearing me out, then please, in your message, leave Genshin forever, and I will know that you are indeed a real one. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Shine on, you crazy diamonds. Later.